Yeah. So hi everyone. I'm Ashish Kumar Chaudhary and I have studied biotech from IIT Bombay and currently I'm working as a scientist. So in this particular tutorial, I will be going to teach you the Python lesson. So you will going to learn the Python language. So Python is easy to learn and it is most popular programming language. So people use this language to write code, automation testing, pipeline testing, AI, and building websites and different applications like different apps like Instagram, YouTube, everything. So in this particular lessons, like I will upload my videos one by one, like lesson 1, lesson 2, covering small topics, so you will get an idea of the whole Python programming, how you can do the coding part using Python language. I will start with the basics so you can learn so quickly. So let me introduce first like why I'm teaching this course, because in the current scenario to get a good package job you need to know one coding language and have some statistical and coding concepts. So I will have I will upload all the lessons on my YouTube channel, that is Bioinformatician, where I will upload each lesson of the Python. So in this particular lesson, I will be going to teach like overview of Python, installing Python, like I will give some general idea like from where you can go and download the Python and the Python editor part. Then first you can write your first Python code and how you can use the comment part in Python and what is variables. And at the end I will give you one exercise so you can try by yourself. So as I have explained earlier, like the Python is easy to learn and it is most popular programming language. People generally use this to use in automation testing, pipeline testing, and do some coding stuffs with this language. So let me start with from where you can download the Python. So you just need to go to the website python.org. You just type, and in this particular website you just see the download buttons where you can choose the which operating system you're using, whether you have Windows, Mac, and other like Linux things. So if for example right now I'm using Windows, so you just have to go and click on this. Currently this latest Python version 3.11.1. you just need to click and you need to save it. Like you have to save it automatically, it will save to your location, and then you just have to proceed with the next step and add where you want to install this particular package, Python package, so you can set the path. And the other thing you need to know is the one code editor basically means we use a code editor to write the code, and there are a lot of code editor you can see in online. So I generally prefer two. One is PyCharm. So for the PyCharm you just have to go to this JetBrains part and then you can see the download icon. So you just have to click on download icon and there will be two options, professional and community. So this will you have to pay, and this is one is the free one. So you just have to download the free Python PyCharm one where you can write your code. So again you have to do the same thing, you just have to click the download part and then you have to just download to your particular location and you have to just install this application. So I already have this application, so I will pause this and let me open the PyCharm. So when you have this PyCharm app installed in your desktop or in your laptop, so when you open this PyCharm, the UI will look like so. This is the PyCharm, the code editor where I prefer to write the code. So the UI looks like this one, and whenever you need to get a new project you just have to go to the file and click on new project, and here you can define the project name. Right now this is Python project, you can give any name and just you need to click on create, and this will ask like this particular window already is open, so you just want to open in the new window, so there will be a new window and then you can see the Python project. And to create a new file just you have to go to the Python project, do right click, and there will be a Python file. You just need to give a name for your Python file, lesson.py. Py is nothing but a Python file extension. Click enter, minimize this, and now I have the Python file called lesson.py. So in this particular first lesson I will be going to teach you how to write the first Python program. So starting with the print and then writing hello, my name is Ashish. So this is the first Python code. So I am trying to print within the bracket the written part hello oasis in the output. So to run, I need to select the current file which I'm working on, and this go to this green button and click on that. So in the output part you can see this hello oasis which is written in this print statement got printed. So this is your first programming language. So with this line of code you can print anything, like for example you want to write something, print OK, and again you will run hello oasis OK. So to run the code that you have written, you need to click on this green button, and there is one interesting thing is like anything I'm writing within this code, single code, we generally call it as string. This particular thing referred to as string. So within the print statement in Python, you can use single quote or double quote. For example, print double quote OK. So it will also work. And when you ran this code, you can see hello oasis, the first code, then second code was like printing OK with single quote, and then printing OK with double quote. So single quote and both double quote will work, considered as a string part in Python. So to print anything you can use either single quote or double quote. Now let's make this learning more interesting. So let's make a funny person. So like I want to create a funny person with some Python using the print statement. So let me do it. Let me see, like I just do it print, give it space, and let me make one funny pose. Then again I write this print statement, and then I try to give space and then try to cover and then print, give it like this. So let me run this code. So can you see? So with this 3 line of code I have just created a funny person, like looks like. So you can play with it, like you can draw something else like a star face, like dog, anything. So from these code I just want to try to explain like the things which is important to understand here is that each code of Python gets executed one by one. So whenever you are running a code, for example I'm running whole 6 line of code, so first the line 1 will get executed, hello oasis, then this OK part, and again this OK part, and then the next line 4 will get executed, then line 5, line 6. So in Python line by line execution happen. So when you click on this green button, Python interpreter starts executing code line by line. So this is important to note. And then coming to the next part is like, so these things what I taught is like first Python code. So like I have written this part, so why this coming as the gray part, and when you run the code again, so like nothing, this doesn't come up in this output part, like it is starting from hello oasis. So what is this? So this hashtags basically used in Python as a comment to comment any particular code. So comments can be used to explain Python code, like exactly what you're trying to do. So you can write anything. For example, Python first code, I'm learning basics. So whenever you look this comment part, so you get an idea, okay, what I'm trying to do in the below codes, like I'm learning the basics of the Python. So anything you add as a comment with the hashtag symbol, the line will not get executed in the output part. So if you want to hide or don't want to run any particular code, you just need to give hashtag, and then when you run, see one OK is missing because you have just commented out. So this particular line of code will not get executed. So this is a comment part in Python. Now like this is for one. So for example I want to add few more comments. This is nice lesson 1. Okay, now people will ask, okay, like every time I have to use the hashtag to comment or what, like for multiple line comments, what should I can do? So for multiple lines you should add triple quote, and whatever you want to add in as a comment, you just need to write like I have learned the basic of the Python, like lesson 1 comment part. Now let me rerun the whole thing. So you can see only this hello Ashish, one okay, and this funny person get executed, and all are there. So these are considered as comment in Python language. Now the next is we are going to learn variables. So variables are basically used to store data values. So let me give you an example. So how you can define a variable: x is equal to 5 and y is equal to 3. So what does it mean? So when Python interpreter gets executed, so for example I'm running this code, so nothing is coming up here in the output because we are not printing anything. So when Python interpreter executes this 2 line of code, it will store number 5 in x variable and number 3 in y variable. Now you can use these values of x and y in your line of code, like in other code, like for example I want to add 5 plus 3, so just need to, so I want to add 5 plus 3, so you can just put x plus 3, x plus y. So I will tell you these things plus operator in the upcoming classes. So this is basically first I'm going to teach you like what is variables. So variables basically storing some data. So right now x is storing a value of 5 and y is storing a value of 3, and now I want to sum up this x plus y. So when you run this, the results will 8, like it is adding x plus y. So x has value 5, y has value 3, so 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Now you will ask why I have not added it as a string. So because whenever you are printing any variable, so you don't have to add within the code. So for example let me give price equal to 10, and now see I want to print, let me give you both scenario. So you want to print the price, this is the first, and second you want to print within the code the price. And for time being let me hide this, and also so let's run this. See, so the first price, so this price is a variable and this variable stores a value of 10, so that's why we are getting 10. But in this line 6 what we are doing, so we are printing the price as a string, so this whole thing is coming up as a price because this is a string, and this price we are printing which is storing some value, so this is a variable. And now for example let me print one thing, like I want to print the value of x, print the value of, so you will get 5 also. See 5 because the value of x is 5, and when you try to print the value of y, so you will get also 3. See 5 and 3. Now the important thing is here, so variables do not need to be declared with any particular type. So here the type is like this 5 is integer. So let me describe thing. So for example x is storing, the x variable is storing an integer value, it can be y, can be 0.5. so 0.5 in Python language this is float, and when you store some name equal to my name, so this is a string, so this is integer, this is float, and this is a string. And one more type is like for example is valid, something I'm defining a variable is valid. So whenever you want to combine two words to define a variable, you have to use underscore. Either both ways fine, like is valid is also a variable, but to make it more code readable, so it's good to add separate the two words with underscore, is underscore valid. Okay, so for example here I was defining the fourth type. So true or false, either we can say true or we can say false. True or false are booleans in Python. So four types, like we have integers. 5.5 is float within the quote with either single or double quote, we consider as a string, and boolean true or false. And if you want to specify the data type, like for example currently x is storing 5, now I am again defining x is equal to 10, and now when you print x, let's see, the value will come 10. Why? Because this is not permanent, like the value you're storing in x is not permanent. So like for example, as I mentioned, like Python execute code line by line. So initially in line 2 I am storing the value of x equal to 5, but in line 3 I am again storing the value of x equal to 10. So now the value of x changes from 5 to 10. So that's why when I print x value, so the latest one is coming in the output 10. So if you want to specify the value, so you need to have like you can store 10 in some different variable. If you define 10 in the same variable, so the value of x will be the latest one which you are storing. And I was saying for the data type, like integer, float, and the string thing. So if you want to specify the data type of a variable, this can be done using, for example, x. I'm storing x is equal to string, and I'm giving the value 4. Now I'm storing x is equal to integer int and giving the value of 4. Now giving, so let me give it y, so it will be not confusing, and then z equal to float means decimal value 4. So let me rub this. Now I can see, let me print the type of each variable. So to know the type of each variable, you just have to give type, and within the bracket you need to provide the variable as an input. So I want to know the type of x. Same way I want to know the type of print type of y, and print type of z. So just click on this red icon. See, so x, I am fixing this particular value and storing it as a string. So when I am printing the type of x, it is showing string. The second one for the y, it is integer. So when I am printing the type of y, it is giving integer. And the z, for z variable, I am storing the value 4 as a float, so it is giving float. And when you print z, it will show 4.0. see, 4.0 because it is float. So float is a decimal, so it will store 4.0. If you give float 3, it will store 3.0. If you give 3.3, it will store 3.3. And one more thing in case of variables, which is more important, like variables name are case sensitive. What does it means? So let me remove this. Means variable names are case sensitive. So for example, I am defining a is 10, a is 20, and a is 30. Now let me print is, and let's run this code. See, we are getting for each variables 10, 20, and 30. So why I was saying variables name are case sensitive, because these all are different variables, because this is case sensitive. If you are writing upper and lower case, it will consider a different variable. So that's why it is important to make sure you should write your variable's name either in our small case or in uppercase. So this is very case sensitive, so this will consider as three different variables. The name is same, but this will consider as a different variables. So it's good to, as a coder, it's good to recommend, I would recommend you should use lowercase every time, like this age in Python, so it will be easy to practice. And the last thing I want to give you the exercise for this is now you have learned, so one thing to define or to store the boolean in the variables I mentioned, you can write is data published, so let me give is published equal to true, so means I am storing the boolean in a variable, so is published equal to true. Okay, now by this way you can define different variables. Now the exercise for this lesson is what you have to do. So this is a question, you go to a cafe called Hyderabad and order 1 cup of cold coffee, and the price of the coffee is 70. Is coffee taste is good? So I want you to define 4 variables. One is cafe name you need to define, then the second one is coffee name, and the third one is price of the coffee, and the fifth if the coffee is good or not. So you can practice this one also, and I can show you, so you can practice before looking into this particular answer part. So this is exercise. So the question was define 4 variables cafe name. So let me write cafe underscore name. This is the first variable, and the variable name was Hyderabad, so I can store as a string Hyderabad. Second was coffee name, so let's write coffee, and coffee name was cold coffee. Third was price, that was $70, and fourth is coffee good, so yes, true. So by this way you can define the variable and then you can use it in your code, and whenever you run, this will store all the value. And for example, I want to print the cafe name, I want to print the coffee is coffee good, I want to print coffee name, and I want to print the price. So the cafe name was Hyderabad. Is coffee good? Yes, true. The coffee name was cold coffee and the price is 70. I will teach you the next lesson in the coming session. Thank you.